What is good, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. Yesterday we uploaded our COD Champs predictions, my bracket for COD Champs. I actually had FaZe winning, so I'm sure some of you loved the video. Other people that aren't FaZe supporters and fans probably hated the video, but it did really well on the channel. So we're coming back to you guys with a tier list for after Major 4 before COD Champs, because I did the bracket, but I want to show you guys where I rate these teams, because there's a mixture of teams everywhere for sure, and there is teams that are so good in one game mode and just okay at the others. So it's gonna be fun to do. Let's get right into it. So let's get the teams out of here that are no longer playing anymore. The done section is for Paris Legion. It's also for the us Minnesota Rocker. Unfortunately, we'll be sitting there watching at Champs. We're the Parasite. We're sitting there watching them play. LAG and Florida Mutineers. These are the trash cans of the league, unfortunately. Yes, we will all be sitting there watching. And I said at the end of my video, but I'm gonna say it again. I will be at the COD Championships. I will be in LA. Come say what's up to me. Please do not be shy. I'll be walking around the whole time, vlogging, having a good time, and being really sad that I'm not up on main stage playing. But it's okay. Everything happens for a reason, I guess. But let's get started. Boston Breach. This is a really interesting team. They've shown moments of excellence with their new roster. They had a really good stage 4 qualifier and just did okay at the LAN. I think they ended up beating who was it? They ended up beating Seattle, I believe, in a game 5, and then they lost next round to OpTic. So we didn't really get to see too much of them. And they lost to Florida as well at the LAN, actually. They played them first round, and they played Gav 2 hard point, Gav control, and they lost that, and Aches was roasting them on the flank. So I do think if this team plays more of the SMG oriented maps with like having Nero and Vivid as really fast SMGs, and then TJ Haley, who's a pretty fast flex player, I think they will find a lot more success. And I do think they're a pretty solid team. They're pretty good at respawn, and they're a really solid SND team as well. So I'm gonna put them in B. We got London Royal Ravens. This team's interesting, man. They had a really hot start to the year, had some roster issues and roster mix-up and stuff. Ended up bringing Gizmo back and absolutely fried in the Major 4 qualifiers. I think they were the #1 seed going into the tournament, and they started off hot. They went up 2-0 versus, I believe, Toronto Ultra in winners round 1, and ended up losing, and then they lost to, I forgot who they lost to in losers, but they lost back-to-back matches, which was tough for them because they are a really talented team. They have really good players, but something just didn't click for them on that Major 4 LAN, and it just really sucks because they were up 2-0. I mean, we were up 2-0 as well. It's never fun getting reverse swept first round of the tournament. It kind of sets the tone in a really bad way for you and your team. So I have to put them in C behind Boston at the moment. And now let's talk about everyone's favorite team, FaZe Clan, Atlanta FaZe. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna have to put them in S. And the reason for that, a lot of people are gonna complain, why are they not in A? They haven't won an event all year. The thing about it is FaZe has the highest average placing. They've placed second, and third, which is very impressive in a game like Vanguard. You see the whole community talk about it, how hit or miss this game is on day to day. Versus certain teams, anyone can beat anyone and cause an upset, and it's just hard to really be consistent in this game. And FaZe has found a way to be extremely consistent throughout the whole year. Yes, they have not gotten a win yet, but if they want to win one, this is the perfect event to win. So I think they're really gonna focus and use all that motivation and fire that they had from not winning a whole event. Because the thing is, when you're on a team like Atlanta FaZe and you dominated all last year, won like 4 events and champs, people hold you to such a high standard. If they are not winning the tournament, it was an absolute failure for them. And people are calling for a roster change, which is pretty crazy. That just goes to show how highly people think of this team. They're all really good players, and I'm expecting them to make a really deep run. And I actually predicted them to win COD Champs, because I'm thinking a team that has not won an event this year will win COD Champs. So I have FaZe in the S tier, and they're just an overall good team across all game modes: hardpoint, SND, and control. So I think it's going to take them really far. They have a really deep map pool, and they've been in the finals a lot. So that means a lot of best of 9s, and they've got just repetitions across those maps, more reps than pretty much any other team's gotten in the game so far. This is another good one, LAT. And right now, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to put them in S. People might think that's a hot take. They might say they want him in A, but the reasoning I have LAT in S right now is going to be because they are the best or top 2 or top 3 hardpoint team, the best control team, and their SND is really good at the moment. So if they can keep their SND good, this is going to be a very scary team. I mean, Kenny also fried. Like, Kenny was vintage World War II Kenny. at Major 4, and his gameplay was so impressive. He looked so comfortable on the map, knowing exactly what he needed to do. And honestly, everyone on the team played great. Everyone had their moments where they needed to step up. OpTic had very good comms when they went into a listening with them. I think it's been a huge staple to like help this team improve and get on the same page. And every one of them was making plays when they needed to and stepped up. Kenny was just lights out MVP form. So if they can keep that up, they're going to be a very scary team to face at COD Champs. And here's another interesting one. The New York Subliners, of course, the team that made the miracle run from 11th in the standings to qualifying for champs. New York, they are, in my opinion, the best hardpoint team right now. Their control and their S&D is just okay. If they can get one of those game modes up to above average and can consistently win their hardpoints still, they can win this tournament for sure. Because like I said, best hardpoint team in the game, and S&D and control is just kind of hit or miss for them from time to time. So if they can find some more consistency in those game modes and close out those series, they can go really far, make a really deep run. And Kismet was going absolutely off. Kismet was frying. Like, he was making such good plays, and it's so impressive from him because he's like a objective oriented player. Like, he's always in the hill, he's always making plays, just head bashing, baiting for his teammates, and he was just dropping bombs. 40 bombs on Berlin, 2 minutes in hill, most damage. So Kismet, he was super impressive at Major 4, and if he can keep that up, this team, they can definitely be a contender to win this event. Now, we got Toronto Ultra. This is a weird team, man. They've had their ups and downs so far this season, and they're all such good players, and they just work so well together. This team is known just for their teamwork. They're really good. They're always really, really good at S&D, especially Insight, one of the best clutchers in the game. Then you have Bance, who's like the veteran of the team. He's always doing the dirty work, taking the routes, and just playing a team game. So you got to give a lot of props to Bance. And then Cammy and Clarence are just like their slayers, who just have to, their job is to go around and kill everything. And they always make a series scrappy. So they will always push to a game 5. The maps are always going to be super, super close. They very rarely ever blow a team out in a map or get blown out in a map. It's always just, I feel like it comes down to the wire with them. And that's why Toronto Ultra series are so much fun to watch sometimes. So right now, though, I'm going to have to put them in at the top of B, the #1 team at B. That's where I got them right now. And there's one of those teams that they can easily win an event and make a deep run and upset a lot of teams. Then we got the one and only OpTic Texas. OpTic Texas. They have been going through a little bit of a rough patch. The roster changes, Illy's hand injury or thumb injury has, I'm sure, put a lot of stress on all of its players and the team, and really hurt their development as a team throughout the season because he just couldn't play. And I mean, that is a really important thing. But I do think they're going to make a deep run. I think I had them getting 3rd in my bracket. But they're really just going to have to lock down. They're just really going to have to lock down across all game modes, because even at Major 4, they weren't like, they played against us. The series was pretty scrappy, pretty close. They beat Boston, and then I think they ended up losing to, actually I completely forgot who they lost to, but I just know they weren't looking like their usual selves. But I do think with their more time they have together into practice and like that focused practice going into the champs, because the thing is, when you go into COD champs, everyone goes into like overdrive mode of watching more VOD, going that much harder every single day in practice. They just have that extra motivation and they just want to win those rings. I think right now I would put OpTic Texas in A at the moment from what we've seen, but I do expect players of that caliber and their skill level to really show up at champs, because I know they know how important this event is, and I think they're going to rise to the occasion and make a deep run. Then they got, last but not least, Seattle Surge, maybe the hardest team to rate right now, because their year, they started off doing amazing at the kickoff. They got 2nd. Major 1, they got last. Major 2, they got 6th. But Mac was throwing up, and they still lost a game 5 to FaZe, like round 11. Game 5, round 11 to FaZe. If they would have won that, I forgot who they would have played for top 3, but they could have made a deeper run. And then they went to, I think, the Pro-Am, got last. Then they went to Major 3, won it. Then they went to Major 4, got last. So this team's really interesting because you have Sib and Pred, who are usually their superstars. Mac is like half and half. Like, he'll be a superstar player and can make superstar plays, but he's kind of more so doing like the objective-oriented SMG role for this team. But he has the pop-off potential. Then you have Lamar, who pretty much just gets in the hill for his team and commands the troops. He just tells them, guys, I'm gonna get in the hill, or I'm gonna go to this one spot, lock this lane down, you guys do this. And he tries to make the game as easy as he can for his teammates. And I always tell him, I'm like, Lamar, like sometimes you got to be the one that makes the play. Like you got to be the one that either hits that rotation, pops that 2 or 3 piece, or just makes that rogue play that you got to do. So I always tell him that from time to time. But it's just really hard to rate this team right now. Like I want to put them in A, and I know they can be an A and an S tier team. I feel like I just have to put them at the top of B. I do have them going to the finals of COD Champs, but due to their lack of consistency, I will say I have to put them in the top of B for right now. But I do have them making a deep run at Champs. So I'm expecting them to do great things. I'm expecting Lamar to get the boys and the troops in line and get them ready for this event. And it's going to be really interesting to see Sib and Pred in their first COD World Championship. And those are 2 players who, when you watch them play or even just know them as people, they have all the confidence in the world. So I think they'll rise to the occasion for sure. But guys, this is going to be my tier list. Actually, you know what? Let's bump a team up or 2. Let's put the Rocker in C. Let's put some respect on our names. We might have got reverse swept by New York and then lost to OpTic Game 5, but we went game 5. So I'm giving a C. But thank you guys all for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and agree with my tier list. Let me know if there's anything you don't agree with in the tier list or you do agree with. I'm sure the comments are going to be fun. I'm sure you guys aren't going to argue with me or other people in the comments. But hope you have a good day. Thank you all for watching. As always, my name's Attach, and I'm out. Peace.